Hello, June. All right, a lot happened in May and it kind of got away from me. I'm out here, there's a few things I really need to harvest, some things that are really exciting and really disappointing. So I'm gonna do an end of May garden tour so we can see all the changes that are happening in May. And first I wanna give a little animal update. First off, our Billy Forrest has been relocated, so he is gone. We appreciated him and all the wonderful babies that he helped to breed for us, but he's gone, and it was a good move. We needed to give our ladies some rest and get some new bloodlines in the herd. And like the day after he left, Ivy, our original doe, she gave birth to Marigold, who I will show here. Marigold is a lot like the first baby that was ever born here, named Valentino. Now, if you remember the story about him, he died in December from listeria. And the very next day, his mom gave birth to what will be our new Billy. Valentino, when he was born, he had a heart on his nose. And Marigold also has a heart on her nose. And she has 4 cute socks on all 4 legs. She's really cute. But I'm a little bit frustrated with Ivy. She has decided that she doesn't want to be a mom anymore, and she stopped feeding her. Actually never started feeding her. So I had to put Ivy in the milking stand so that we can make sure that Marigold got enough colostrum. And we are now bottle feeding a baby goat, which is okay. And Ivy is going to be leaving when we can find another home for her. That was always the plan because she gave us a new Billy and we didn't want him breeding his mom. So she needs to go. He's getting older, and now that Forrest is gone, he might start to try to breed some other ladies. So we want to make sure that she goes so that she doesn't get bred by her offspring. And we're also going to find a new home for Marigold. As sweet as she is and as friendly as she is towards us, I know it'll be kind of heartbreaking for my kids. It's part of the name of the game when you have livestock like this, but we can't have full brother and sister breeding either. And he's going to be our new Billy, and of all the does that I have, Ivy is the one that I would prefer to part with the most. So that's the game plan. Another animal update is that we have our 8 hens out in the goat pen now, and we have moved all of our chicks, all 15 of them, out into the coop. They're very happy in the coop, and our chickens are really happy in the goat pen. I'll insert some footage here of my husband's genius but exceptionally simple idea for we have a doghouse out there, but in order to make sure that we felt like they were getting enough space, we added a second plastic one and we hinged it, and my husband added in some nesting boxes in there. So they're all out there happy, loving all the worms and things to dig through. They're getting along great with the goats. They've been out there for about a week at this point, and we've had no issues so far. Everybody's happy and healthy, which is super awesome. So here's some footage of that. Our baby birds aren't really looking like babies anymore. And today is moving day for them. Took this old doghouse. There's another doghouse out there. It's a 12 by 12 nesting box on each side. And then the sides are built up. Genius. It's moving day.
They're little chickies.
We gotta teach them where the water is too. Okay, now let's take a peek at the garden. Here's the exciting thing. The Shasta daisies are blooming and berries are ripening everywhere. This blackberry bush is quite large. It's been sending off shoots, so we'll have even more. Catmint still looks so beautiful. I love this. It just looks very like whimsical, and I love the purple. And once again, I have just like really big and thick Shasta daisy plants. Lots of buds everywhere. Peonies, volunteer sunflower. How fun is that? Snapdragons are dying back. Rosemary is very thick. And the mint. Now, I think I'm going to transplant the mint down by our pool. We're re-landscaping the pool area. There will be a whole separate spiel on that. But I'm going to do a few more like tropical plants. Holland Bulb Farms is where I got all of my tulip bulbs and a lot of my other perennial bulbs. They're having like a sale right now. So your bank account won't thank me, but your heart will. And you can go check that out. I bought some bulbs. It's a lily. It's white and it grows 4 to 5 feet tall. I'm super excited. My roses, they're kind of done for the season. Here's some of the foliage. So I'm hoping that a little bit of spotting isn't too big of a deal. And I'm seeing these flushes of like little red stems here and there. And there's like a bunch way down in here. Let's go inside the garden for a second. And I'll show you the beginnings of the sad. I haven't seen any droppings, but something is eating my plants. And with the strawberries, you might say, oh, it could be a rabbit. But I'll show you my sunflowers and my beans later. And part of me thinks it could be a deer. Look at this sad image right here. You see how like all the tips of these are eaten off? So sad. But again, more berries ripening. So that's always exciting. Apple trees are doing great. Like everybody's happy. Nice and green. That's what we want. There's a bunch of weeds in here. I accidentally cut my thigh open. There was broken glass. Whew. There was broken glass in the bottom of a trash bag and I didn't know. And I slid it across my leg as I was pulling the bag and I got my leg. So I'm not bending a whole lot just because it feels rough still. And so there's a lot of weeds, but it is what it is. This is how big my tomatoes are. This is where my leg hits. But I'm seeing, you know, flowers. Those are my bigger ones. Oh, I see our first tomato. This is a Paul Robeson. How exciting. Okay, I know they're not that big. They could be a whole lot bigger, but listen, I grew these from seed. It was my first year. They're heirloom. I wasn't sure how it was gonna go. I'll take a win where I can get it. But I have several Roma that look really happy. Oh, and this is fun. What I did is between every tomato plant on my trellis, I planted a mammoth sunflower. So right here, you see tomato and tomato, and then one day this will come and grow all the way up. Now I did that at this time because they will come in around my birthday and I'll be super happy to see them. And if I would have put the mammoth sunflower seeds in earlier, they could have kind of, with the number that I planted, they could have started to shade out my tomatoes too much. So the tomatoes will be clinging to the trellis and then the sunflowers will be nice and tall and not weaving into the trellis with the tomatoes. I'm hoping all will be well there. I don't think I ever discussed this because I don't think I ever uploaded, but I have planted some cherry and grape tomatoes. Now I think one of my kids got in here because look at this. I have tags just on the ground. So black strawberry and Brad's atomic grape were two of them. And I can't tell you where was what I'm pulling. These are just on the ground. Brad's crazy cherry and purple bumblebee. I think I remember planting the Brad's crazy cherry right here. And I don't see any of them. So they didn't make it. But what I was going to mention, these are so distinct too because they have such interesting colors and patterns that I'll know what it is when they come in. I started cherry and grape tomato, 4 different varieties as I just read, 4 different varieties in our pool house under a grow light. And I was like, I'm gonna start hardening them off. It was an overcast day and I didn't set an alarm. But it kind of worked out because I really tested that whole theory of hardening off plants in a single day. I forgot that they were out there and I didn't set an alarm and they stayed outside the entire day on an overcast day. And I thought, well, I've already done it now. If they're gonna die, they're gonna die. But if they're not, I should plant them. So I planted them all, and they look really happy. So I'm pleased. Now let's turn around here. Here's some great pole beans. This is growing quite nicely. Oh, look at how pretty this is. Isn't it just fun? I can't wait until it's like all the way over my head and I'm just in a sea of beans. Here's the sad part. Once again, something has come along and just munched on the tops of a lot of my bean plants. And I don't feel like a rabbit would come from above and eat down. I really feel like it was a deer. So, anywho, lots of flowers. Lots of little flowers, purple. This is the variegated kind, and this is the purple. And they are just climbing beautifully. Now, we've got cucumbers growing along in here. And just about every day I have to kind of come and help guide everybody up the trellis, see if we can weave any more. But it's quite lovely. Oh, look, little baby cucumber. But it's looking so nice. I'm not a good cameraman, so you get what you get. I don't even know who's watching. Who are you and why do you watch me? I'm posting this because I regret, I've said this before. I'm posting this because I regret that I didn't document my first few gardens. I made a lot of progress and I learned a lot and I experimented a lot and I had so much fun. And I dreamed and schemed and came up with different ideas and then went with some and not others. Anyways, I just think gardening is a whole process of self-growth. And you can see the garden grow and you can see the person grow. I regretted not documenting more of my gardening stuff early on. So I thought, well, this is, Lord willing, our forever home. And this is going to be here for a long time, this garden. And I want to remember the process and it growing and me growing. So here we are. And once again, I have corn throughout here. But yes, no, nothing is terribly tall. Nothing is terribly bushy. Is that my fault? Probably. Take what I can get, y'all. Okay. Once again, yes, I know. Weeds, weeds, weeds. I have a bum leg, so bear with me. What is this? This is crazy. It's just a weed. Kind of look crazy for a second. I'm just letting these go, as I've said many times before. But here's our popcorn, and we have okra coming up in between. Now, the bell peppers and jalapenos that I planted, they're just not doing much at all. Sorry, I'm trellising cucumbers as I'm talking to you. I fear that the mulch wasn't dug back far enough on these. And they're alive because they're in dirt, but I think that their roots are not able to travel deep enough to thrive. They're alive, but not thrive. This just really hasn't grown hardly at all since it was planted. I could pull it out and put it where those other cherry tomatoes didn't live. I may do that. Today I have other things to get done though. My daughter came through here and pulled some of my hydrangeas. But you can see little spots of blue here and there. This was a dumb mistake. I probably already mentioned this, but in the event that I have not. Oh, by the way, our friends came over the other day. These nasturtium leaves are the perfect size for a burger patty. Anyways, here's my dumb mistake. Why did I plant nasturtium above basil? They're too shaded. So, my bad. I have a lily over here. Is it still standing? It's still standing. We'll look at it. So pretty. And some of my gladiolus. Oh, wow! Look at how tall this one got all of a sudden. Look at this gladiolus. Guys, It comes up like almost to my shoulder. Look at this thing. And it's gonna have a ton of flowers on it. How exciting. There's this big old garden with so many things going on, but yes, small things like that still make me really excited. Hydrangea that I got this year for Mother's Day. Sad looking, but not dead. It needs water. This one also looks sad, but not dead. It is what it is. I don't know, y'all. We've worked on some mulch but again, busted up my leg, so there's only so much I can do right now. And I just have to start with the sad part because I want to get to something happy. Look at these. How sad is that? And like it got almost all of them. Like this one's gone. These are gone. So I'm very sad. Also, my cucamelons really aren't growing. Who grows cucamelon and why aren't mine growing? I think that these are zinnia, if I'm looking at the leaves correctly. I think this is Gomphrena. I see little tiny green leaves every once in a while. And then I have no idea what the rest of that is. This is cucamelon. Like I said, it's not growing a whole lot. Now, I'm coming out here to harvest dill and my garlic, which I don't think is doing well. And I'm so sad about it, but we'll look. And I need to, it's been a little bit too long with these guys. These need to come up. I have goats and chickens. They will eat it. All will be well. But look at my dill. It's starting to flower. So I am known for my pickles, and I make dill pickles. I'm not a spicy or a sweet pickle person. Dill is where it's at. So I go through a ton of dill, and I will probably harvest that and see if I can replant even more. But this is my Jack B. Little. Once again, why did I plant something really, really big next to basil? I got all kinds of basil under here. And as you can see, I tied a little rope right here to kind of pull this way. And this grows so quickly as well that I'm always constantly coming out here and weaving it around this trellis and encouraging it to climb. And I even see little itty bitty baby pumpkins here and there. How fun. How fun. So these I probably could have planted a little bit later. And I honestly might try to do a second planting on this other side that never really grew for me. This one's just not taken off. Carrots. It's still hanging out at this. And my onions. I really feel like I should have seen more growth on my onions than this. But we'll give it time. We will give it time. Look at this one all the way down here. How did I miss that? Wow. You need to be like way up here. And this is where it gets scary because sometimes they're so long and so set where they were. You don't want to break them weaving them. I think we're okay. All right. I replant. Look at this. Some booger came over here. Jaredell. Here's the thing. My dad thinks that this is also Jaredell. Which we don't do sweet potatoes. We eat Jaredell. And that this is jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. And that this is watermelon. So we will see. Okay, what do I want to look at next? Let's look at, that's my dog. Potatoes. This was an experiment, and I'm sad that I have nothing going on these trellises, but I just didn't take the time to dig back and put some good soil in there and blah, blah, blah. But it's here. That's the thing, is it's established. Okay. Here's the part that I'm kind of bummed about. So this is my garlic. And as you can see, this is from M.I. Gardener. If this didn't go well, I'm not saying it's him. It's probably me. But if you look, these are very dry. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 leaves have totally browned. And when you pull a bulb up, it's just not that big. I mean, it's garlic, okay, I'll take it, but it's not that big. And a ton of people were saying you should pull that. I thought I should wait till July. It's June 1st. They were like, no, you should pull it. You don't want it to rot. And I certainly don't. So I'm gonna harvest this, and I'm gonna harvest some dill. And then I'm going to cut down all my butter lettuce. And honestly, that's gonna free up some space for me to come through this bed and plant some more stuff. My goal for this bed is to plant sunflowers and some like red and yellow zinnia and things like that, so that when Thanksgiving time rolls around, the sunflowers will be blooming, so that I can give and sell some bouquets for Thanksgiving tables. So let's pull up the garlic, let's harvest the dill, and maybe we'll get to the lettuce this afternoon. And yeah, this is the garden thus far. One thing I will peek at with you is in front of our pool area. This is not really going to be food stuff, but it will be pretty. Like I said, there's a whole other video that's coming about this. It's a whole nother thing, but we ripped out all of these bushes. Now those are Shasta daisies, but we ripped out all of these bushes, and we're kind of cottage gardening that section to just be beautiful. So thanks for joining me. Here's to see what happens and grows in June. All right. It's little, but it's edible. We'll save what we can. Okay, see this one, the paper is starting to come off. Pardon the air conditioner that you hear running behind you. I have never grown garlic before. So, oh my word, okay. Look, that one almost started to grow, like, there's a bulb here, but one here. I've never grown garlic before. It's my first year doing so. It's kind of a pitiful year, I'm gonna have to say. No, I don't really know what I'm doing. Yeah, this stuff looks like it's ready to go. And by the way, zone 8, this was, I think I already said it, this was soft neck Italian from M.I. Gardner. I planted it like at the end of the season. I actually wanted flowers in this bed so that, because this is right next to our pool house window. But this was the first bed that got filled with dirt, and for a while was the only bed filled with dirt. So the garlic went in, because if I waited any longer, this is gross. Look at that. There's like yellow mold on it. Not good. If I waited any longer, it would have been too late to plant it. So it's 86 degrees currently, and we're just pulling away. This is kind of sad, I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is one of those bummed out moments. We love garlic. We eat a ton of it. Even just in pickle making alone. Like, honestly, these might only be pickle making garlics, because they're so small, and I don't think I can save any of these. I think that the paper's coming off. I can probably save them long enough for when my cucumbers come in, that when I'm pickling cucumbers, I can use this garlic instead of some that's been preserved longer from the store. So hopefully I can save it for a while. But yeah, I didn't harvest them sooner because they just weren't very big. And y'all, this had some manure in the bottom, and then I got like gardening soil and filled in the rest. So is it me? Is it the kind of garlic? Is it my weather conditions? Is it the soil? Is it everything? I don't know. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna put these in with some of my pickles and hope for the best. I was hoping that this was gonna be one of those, like, this is probably my best looking one, and other gardeners would be like, that's so sad. And it is so sad. Like, this is how big it is. It's okay. that's okay, right? I think. But anywho, it's fun. It's been a fun experience. And I'll try something new next year. All right. Oh, it's hot. That bed of garlic is harvested. Here's what we've got. Let's go do the dill over here.